I'm going to say something scandalous, Ronnie.
Go on.
Plants are meat. And not only are they meat, they're delicious, especially if they're from Impossible Foods.
They taste like beef.
Exactly. Impossible is making meat history this summer.
Yeah, they are. Summer of Impossible.
I am so excited to be spending time cooking my summer foods, all that good stuff. And guess what? We can use Impossible sausages, Impossible brats. I mean, it's going to be a great summer for Impossible Foods.
Impossible beef is made from plants and 19 grams of protein per serving, and it's better for the planet.
And it's meat.
Plant meat, correct. So if you're looking for something to grab for your grill, grab some Impossible beef.
Summer of Impossible.
Start making meat history today. Just head over to the meat aisle at your local grocery store, grab some Impossible beef or patties, and get grilling. The Beanie Bubble stars Zach Galifianakis, Elizabeth Banks, Sarah Snook, and Geraldine Viswanathan. A behind-the-scenes look at one of the biggest speculative crazes that blazed through American culture in the 90s. The Beanie Bubble in select theaters on July 21st, streaming exclusively on Apple TV Plus July 28th. Rated R.
Do you want the perfect look for all of summer's moments? At Sunglass Hut, you can find every shade of you with their curated summer product selection.
Their vast selection that includes a wide range of styles from the biggest brands like Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, Burberry, Ray-Ban, Oakley, and more. Plus, 12 shades only available at Sunglass Hut.
With personalized services both online and in-store, expert sales associates will help you find the perfect pair for yourself or a great gift for anyone on your list.
I was just shopping there the other day, and it's actually really cool. It's so modern. The people who work there really help you find the right size for your face.
So go and discover the special selection online at sunglasshut.com or in store. Your summer look is waiting for you.
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Well, hello. How are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. What a week. My God, Bravo's really giving it to us on Sunday nights. Jesus Christ, man. They're giving us Atlanta, New York, which of course we talked about for over 2 hours. That's 2 episodes. If you guys have not heard it yet, go listen to it. We had a great time talking about that. Plus Crappy Lake.
Plus Crappy Lake. It's crazy. So just a programming note. Also, in addition to everything else, last week we did episode 1 of Crappy Lake. And then this week we're recapping episodes 2 and 3. So just keep an eye out for those recaps on your feed. It's, by the way, since there is so much content coming down the pike yet again, it's a really good idea to subscribe. If you don't subscribe to us, this would be a good time to subscribe so that way things don't get lost, because it's really easy with all the stuff. So if you subscribe, you'll get all the stuff in your podcast app. So do that on Apple Podcasts, do it on Wondery, do it on Amazon, do it wherever you get your podcasts. And
also, we're on Patreon doing these on video. So if you want to watch us, come watch on Patreon. They're available on YouTube. Watch What Crappens on YouTube a week later as well. So thanks to everybody on YouTube. Hi. And for those of you who want them fresh, come to Patreon, honey. Okay, it's business. Okay, let's go over to Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving in Atlanta, and people are doing things. Candy's doing a gift drive. Marlo is sneaking a lamb chop. Sonia is putting out a spread. Kenya's daughter is meeting her dad for the first time.
Her grandpa.
So,
not her dad.
Well, I meant Kenya's dad. Not Mark.
Like, wait, what? She's meeting her grandpa. I don't know why I even took it that way. Like, it made total sense how you said it.
Language is important, and I did give an ambiguous
I'm literally an idiot. We just finished the New York recap, and my brain is fried. But this really struck me. She didn't introduce her daughter to her dad yet. That's fucking weird. What's going on?
Maybe it was like a COVID thing. She said she hadn't seen her dad for a while, so maybe, I don't know. I don't understand, but I think Kenya's family dynamics are one of the mysteries of the universe.
But I thought she was super close with her dad. I don't know. I don't feel good about this. I guess it was COVID, maybe he's older and he can't be around too many germs. And you know what kids are? They're germs with legs. Okay.
Yes.
Ben quit. Ben just quit. Okay. So, Kenya's like, yeah, when Brooklyn was born, she wasn't even seeing her father, let alone my father. But she finally got to meet him and they're kissing and hugging. And then we go to a big brunch at Drew's house. One of these, like, look how rich I am scenes that Drew has, which aren't really going to look so great next season for Drew.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of shrimp and salmon that's out. And is Ralph going to cook? It looks like he's going to cook. Because guess what? The men are going to do everything today. The men are going to cook for all the women today. And by that,
roll out the red carpet for you, baby.
all the men, we get along really, really well. And the ladies, you guys always got drama. So we're going to like give off that good energy, that good like male energy, and like make sure like you have that before you go on this trip. So you're going to have a good time instead of drama. So because they are going to Portugal, in case anyone forgot, Sheree wants to do a healing trip in Portugal. Which, by the way, well done, Atlanta. You guys are having a shitty ass season, like the third shitty ass season in a row, but you still managed to eke out like an amazing destination for your cast trip. So bravo, well done.
Yeah. So Drew's telling us, well, it's a little out of the blue that Ralph is putting on this brunch, but it's nice. I never really see him in the kitchen. I mean, like, he doesn't even know what a spatula is. We are such a funny couple, aren't we?
Cut to Ralph playing a spatula like a banjo. This I use it right. Wow, it's
We're
almost
doing this at the little table. Me and you, spatula. Dun, 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 dun.
wow,
Tiny
like
table?
Ralph.
What is it called? Tiny table?
Tiny
Little
desk.
table? Tiny
desk of NPR. Ralph is acting like he's like, wow, Ralph, like you're making me brunch. It's almost like you're about to go off to the city of sin and have an affair on me. Gosh, while I'm out of town.
I love that this is a Ralph's making brunch storyline when we see three chefs standing there.
I know.
Three personal chefs standing there.
It's Ralph bringing like platters to the chefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, chef. So yeah, this is Ralph he's trying to like do something here. No one really understands why or understands really what's going on, but he's decided he wants to do this. And so now people are arriving. Candy and Todd show up, and then Sonia and Ross, and then Courtney with her man Bryce. That's her baby daddy, Bryce.
So Bryce and Candy see each other, and Candy's like, what? And she's like, I haven't even seen you in 20 years. I almost didn't recognize you. And she tells us, wow, well, Courtney's full of surprises. I mean, he's the father of her child. Like, he's so nice. How does he put up with Courtney? I love that that's how much Candy is around this season. She doesn't even know this cousin storyline yet.
Seriously. So the men are like helping to cook, like passing spatulas to the chefs. And Drew performed on Thanksgiving, guys, and which was meant that she was like singing for her mom's friends in the living room. And then Allison joins the group.
Church,
Allison,
I wrote at church.
Yeah, she's like saying, like, I had to perform on Thanksgiving when meanwhile Candy's doing full-on concerts. So Allison, the sister, joins. She's like, hi, I'm Allison. Oh, you want me to cook as well? Okay, I thought I was supposed to be a sister to you right now. Okay.
Now, we should have known
Candy's...
that this marriage was going to completely fail and break apart right in front of our eyes the second we saw the clock art, okay? And listen, anybody who takes a big wall in their house and puts the biggest clock you can see from Home Goods on there, your marriage is doomed to fail. Get it off your wall immediately. We've seen it a million times on Bravo. Get rid of the clock art. Look what it did to this couple.
Nothing says time's up like a giant clock. So Candy's like, oh, well, this is my first time seeing your sister in person. And Drew's like, oh, yeah, because she was at the video shoot that you didn't show up to. Yeah. So Candy doesn't even take the bait. She's just like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what's at your music video shoot.
Stupid music video shoot. I was shooting a feature film, ma'am. So Candy is like, this is Bryce. Oh my God. Bryce, how many years has it been? And she's like, look at us in the industry people.
And then Moneta and Heath show up, and Sheree is there with no Martell. I feel like the Martell storyline has been a huge bust. I feel like you can't have a season premiere like the one that they had, and then there'd just be no Martell for the rest of the season. It felt like this was going to be the season of Sheree and Martell and like what's going on with this relationship. It seemed like it was going to be a really promising through line, but instead there's just no Martell. Like, what sort of reality star whore doesn't show up for the reality cameras on the bigger show? Like, I don't understand this at all.
Yeah, I don't either. Unless, do you think they have some kind of deal like Kenya and Roy? Kale? Tell me crazy. Tell me crazy.
Call me
Roy.
crazy. Not to be confused with Call Me Kale, which is what we called it last week.
Kale M for Werder. Which doesn't even make sense, really. So, where she's like, you come on my show, and then I'll come on your show. And then we'll both be on 2 shows. I mean, I don't know. So then Sheree is talking about Thanksgiving and being a glam-on stuff. And Kenya's guy isn't there either, guys. What a shock. I know that we're all shocked to see Kenya without a date again when she's pretending to have a boyfriend. I know it's a crazy storyline for Kenya, but it happened. It happened.
Yeah, it happened. And Sheree's shitting him. And so Marlo and Scottley shows up. Scottley's there. And Kenya's like, what the fuck is he wearing? Look, eBay was closed today, I guess. And Marlo's talking about how she's really enjoying spending some time with Scottley and everything. And Candy actually knows Scottley. She's met him before. And she says, I mean, I didn't really see him as being Marlo's type. I mean, Marlo's always saying that she doesn't have sex and that the guy's got to be spending before she ever does anything, whore behavior. So, okay.
Yeah, because he's a chef. Like, he doesn't own that restaurant. She says he's the head chef at the Continent, which I think is new information because they've led us to believe that's his restaurant, So she's like, he does not own that. He's a chef. So he's not rich enough for her. I'm not buying it, which none of us are. I think everyone's just faking it at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone's
fake.
I mean,
fake
Drew and Ralph are
relationships
faking
amongst
it.
fake friends. Yeah.
Yeah, Drew and Ralph are faking it. I don't think Candy and Todd are faking it necessarily. Maybe going through the motions, but not faking it. Kenya's definitely faking it. Sheree's definitely faking it. So a lot of fake stuff happening.
Wow. Can't believe the audience is not reacting well to it. So Kenya starts asking Candy about her movie, and Candy is in the process of casting it right now. The Pass by Todd Tucker. And Kenya is like, I didn't see an offer. I would like to have an offer on my table.
I'm way past auditioning though.
And she's like, so who's the leading lady? And Candy says Drew. And Kenya's like,
You cast Drew?
This one? Her? She gets to be in this movie? Drew over here?
Kenya, you're very good at what you do, which is this. Like, literally sitting here being an asshole when you have no right to be. But Drew has a real resume. I mean, what the fuck are you talking? You can't even say your line right at the beginning of this show. What's her tagline at the beginning of this show? She's like, I don't do culture.
I am the culture. The moment.
What did she
no.
say? I don't need the moment. I am the moment.
I don't.
Kenya tagline. I know people are going crazy and beating their steering wheels. I don't just do it for the culture. Honey, I am the culture. So awkward. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, God, could someone have let you do that again? Or
There is a pint of yogurt somewhere saying, she stole my line. So Candy is like,
it's like a sourdough bread. Like,
guys, I think I'm going to get, oh, she took my line. Okay, I thought I was going to get it this year. I thought I could make it onto the show. So Candy's, it's so wrong. Candy's like, she says that the role of the sweet, young, naive woman, that's who gets turned out. That's who Drew is. And she's saying, now, I'm not saying that Drew is young and naive, but she knows how to pretend to be.
And Kenya's like, well, come on now. You know I put threesomes on the map. And then we see the RHOA movie poster.
Yeah, Kenya, real pioneer in menage a trois.
And Drew's like, oh, really, Kenya? Have you been in a movie since RHOA? Because I think that came out 20 years ago. So it might be time to let the acting career go and just move on. Okay, say step up again. How
That's
about
true,
say step
too.
up again? I mean, that was a much bigger deal than RHOA. I will give her that. But that wasn't yesterday. So the guys cook, and basically what that means is the chefs say, okay, put it in the oven now, and they put it in the oven, and they say, okay, set your iPhones to go off in 20 minutes, and it'll be ready. And then they do.
Yeah. And then Kenny gets a call from Roy. And Marlo's like, oh, Roy, I know Roy. I went on a date with him before. And Drew is like, I cannot with you, Marlo. So Kenya's like, excuse me, I have to take this in a quieter place, ideally next to a piano. Excuse me, I gotta step away from the camera.
I'm sorry, I can't hear anything. All I hear is a vortex dragging us all down to hell. Poor hell. Poor horse.
Kenya's like, I will not let Marlo have this moment. So Marlo's like, oh, let me see if I still have his number. If his number's still the same. Yep, still got it. But I listen to him as Roy wants to use me to get on TV. Kale person.
I went one day into Kale Me Crazy. I mean, it was just one little date.
Like, so did you go on a date or did you just go into Kill Me Crazy one day?
Did you just see his picture on the wall?
Marlo's slippery. You don't really know what she's saying, because that sentence, I went into Kill Me Crazy. It was just one little date. Okay. So now I'm not sure what you're saying. So then Roy and Kenya are talking, and this is obviously fucking fake. He's calling right when the cameras are there, whatever. And he's going to Miami, and Kenya's just so jealous. So Marlo's like,
So we just chit-chatted. You know what it is? He was chit-chatting on my DM one day. I don't know how to even do DMs. You know me, just innocent, non-whore Marlo. What do DMs even do? I mean, you can't use Venmo on a DM, can you? Come on.
DM'd if you do. DM'd if you don't. So
I'm opening a restaurant called DM'd if you do, DM'd if you don't. We're serving kale.
the restaurant's called TGI DM Fridays. So Roy messaged her about it, Marlo was gonna be in like a movie or something, and was like, should I wear a bodysuit or should I wear a hat or something like that? And Roy messaged her being like, do the bodysuit, girl. That was the DM.
yeah. So Sheree's like, so you didn't know him before then? She goes,
No, I didn't know him before that.
So then brunch is ready. So they all get some food. And Sonia tries to get this going again, right? Because they've been interrupted by food service. So now they're all sitting back down. And Sonia's like, so I almost passed out when she said that she also dated the guy that you're dating, Kenya. What do you think about that, Kenya? Isn't that something? Huh? What about that? Did anybody hear that? What Marlo said back there? Crazy. Right?
Marlo's like, I did not say we dated. And Kenya goes, well, I'm glad he realized she wasn't the one so he could date me, baby. Thank you for showing him what not to do.
And so Sonia, correctly says, if that had been anybody on a date with Roy, but Marlo, because Kenya's such a hypocrite. Like, she went after Martell so hard, but now we find out Roy is kind of in the same boat.
Yep. So Marlo's like, yeah, enjoy the leftovers, bitch. And Candy's just giggling, and she just said, thank God it's just not me today. So now the guys are like talking in the backyard. I don't even remember what they were talking about. They just were like talking like, women, aren't they crazy?
They're doing that thing where they're laughing really hard about nothing. Todd's like, wow, you're a long way from New Jersey. Ha, ha, ha. Whoa, look at this house. You've got so much stuff here. This is crazy, Ralph. Such a long way from Jersey. And they're like, ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Whoa.
And Ralph was like, yeah, there's a path back there. He's talking about like a path or something like that. And Scott Lee's talking about Marlo. And I don't even know what Heath is saying. But yeah, they're just
Heath is being extremely awkward to watch and cringy to watch because he's that really super pale white guy who gets around any black guy and starts really laying on thick black scent.
His black scent was out of control.
Like, please stop. It's so offensive. He's like, yo! No. Like, I don't even want to do it because it would be so offensive, but it's offensive. Stop it. I can't believe.
Well, I was like, well, it doesn't seem like anyone was having a problem with it. So I'm like, to me, I was like, is anyone else noticing this? This is crazy. But no one on screen seemed to be having an issue. So I was like, well, I'll just have quiet outrage then. So then, or awkwardness. So then we go back inside and
I was
like, huh?
Cringy times, quite cringy times.
Is this okay? So Sheree's like, so, Drew, the chef back there, is he going to get paid? Because, there's some stuff on the internet saying that you didn't pay him. And like that chef right over there. Like there's some stuff. They're saying, you brought in this chef and they're doing all this other stuff. So is he going to get paid?
And then we see the tweet. Allegedly, Drew's out here not paying her people 2, her nanny / chef hasn't received payment for her work. Hashtag sips tea. Is that Charity or Chastity? What's her name? That's always over there.
I was wondering if it was Chastity,
Chastity.
And Drew was like, well, it's a lawsuit, so it's being handled by my attorney. But there's a lot of false information on the internet. And basically, this woman came in and she wanted to cook food for my family. And like there was a trial phase, and I found a hair in my food. And it was very trash. She was very trash.
Yeah, so she didn't pay. You didn't pay the person. You at least pay them back for the ingredients they spent on your dinner. This isn't just like a paid week-long eat free for your family, weirdo.
Yeah. So Drew tells us she is not a chef. She is a girl who wanted to cook some food, and I was not interested. She did not get the job, but she's running out to the media, and they're trying to make me look like Sheree. But she pays her bills. So we're like, oh, wow, what's this mess? And then we find out that this girl is suing Drew for $1,000.
And they all laugh and make fun of it like that's so pathetic. That's so pathetic of Drew. I'm totally team chef. You can't pay this lady $1,000. This is obviously someone who needs the money and was trying so hard. She went out and spent $1,000 to make you dinner, and you fired her before she even started because of a hair, which everybody fucking has. How dare you? Team chef, Drew sucks. Cheapo,
But also,
hypocrite.
this is clearly not someone who's trying to extort Drew. Like, if someone were trying to extort Drew, it would be like for $50,000 or $100,000. This is someone who's saying, like, you owe me $1,000. I spent this many hours. This is how much this is my rate. You did not pay me. I need my $1,000.
Yeah, and you guys sitting around here all making fun of this lady suing for $1,000 and thinking it's hilarious. I hope you think it's as hilarious next year when Drew's in her like studio apartment. Okay, I'll wait to see you laughing then.
I couldn't tell if they were laughing at the woman or like there was part of me that felt like the women were laughing that Drew was like, guys, I'm being sued. I'm being sued right now. It's in the courts. It's being handled by my lawyers. And it's like only for like $1,000, which $1,000 is not nothing. But if you're a celebrity and living a nice lifestyle, you can
small claims. It's not.
Yeah, you can pay. You can
don't
pay
have attorneys going.
She's literally acting like she is Erica Jane in the Tom Girardi mess.
Right, that's true. You don't have attorneys working on that. You show up to court, and Doug Llewellyn stands out there, and waits for the verdict.
You settle and you move on with your life. Okay.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Introducing the new Audible original Breakthrough.
The genre-redefining audio-only series that strips away the superficial to reaffirm what matters most, pure talent.
Featuring celebrity judges Kelly Rowland, Sarah Bareilles, and host David Diggs.
Hear every step of the musical journey as 5 undiscovered musicians battle through a series of high-stakes singing and songwriting challenges for one top spot.
As musically gifted as they are artistically unique, each finalist is driven by the same dream, to become music's next must-listen.
But to break through, they'll have to dig deep, pushing their vocal, songwriting, and recording chops to their absolute limits while keeping their feet and emotions firmly grounded.
So, who will break through? It's time to find out.
Join Kelly, Sarah, and David on a musical journey unlike anything you've ever seen.
This is Breakthrough.
Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts.
Go to audible.com/breakthrough.
Follow along using hashtag BreakthroughXAudible.
Looking for love? I'm Jujubee, and on this season of Queen of Hearts, we're going all the way down to sunny, sexy Miami. I'm setting up the hottest singles in South Florida. Maybe I can find them their perfect partner, or someone to fulfill their sexiest fantasies.
A man who unconditionally loves me and is a raging feminist, and then ties me up, rubbing oils on me, then surprise gets a girl to lick my and another guy to put it in my and has a huge...
But remember, there's a twist. No one can see each other until the very end. Camera's on.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Woo. Got me blessed.
Follow Queen of Hearts on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on Amazon Music, included with Prime. Download the Amazon Music app now, or you can listen ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.
Okay, so then we start talking about, but I'm still mad at Drew. Pay your chef. Like, that's so shitty. Okay,
pay your
so then
chef.
we go back to Sheree. And Sheree is talking about, oh, that's why we're going to go on this trip. She brings it all. Sheree is so bad at that, too, tying two things in together. Oh, the lawsuit. That's why we're going on this trip, to mend things. I was like, really? Is someone in Portugal going to pay this poor lady $1,000?
Yeah, seriously. So, and Sonya's like, is everyone open to mending all the relationships that have been a little meh? Is everyone open to that? And Sheree
Like
goes,
Kenya
"I don't
and
think people
Marlo,
will."
because I don't know if you just heard what Marlo said about dating, because Marlo dated. Did everybody hear that? It's like, okay, ham hands, we heard it.
Does whoever came in silver at the Olympics want to mend their relationship with me and how they were frustrated by me beating them? Anyone?
Lower tables.
I know they hold
lower
it.
tables, taking grievances from lower tables.
Do any sisters who have been so lucky to be employed by a gold-winning athlete, do they have anything that they want to heal? Any sisters? No?
So Sheree tells us that she's excited for her healing journey. And after having her dinner with the OGs and Kim, they can get over their drama. And now these girls can. You got over your drama because half of you were fired and the rest of you were fired summarily after that. Okay? Your drama was not important enough. That's why we got over your drama. I'm still over it. That was a terrible scene.
And also, like, they have not. It was 15 years ago, so it's not like you guys were like, you know what? I have decided to reach deep down into my soul and move on. It's been 15 years. It just sort of happens naturally.
Yeah.
So Sheree starts making a joke about how they're going to need like crisis management, maybe Courtney's crisis management, because Courtney does crisis management, in case you forgot, like I did. And Kenya's like, well, I don't know. I mean, it didn't work out too well for Courtney and Candy. And Courtney's like, oh, well, of course you wouldn't need it. I can you back.
And so then this starts getting ugly because Kenya gets very defensive whenever somebody like not on her level starts talking back
Pushing
with her,
back.
pushing back. And so Sonia, she's like, oh, I'm serious. I don't need crisis management. I'm in crisis management all the time. And Courtney's like, we know. And I was like, oh.
So Kenya goes,
and then you see Kenya get pissed.
She goes, I'm going to need you to keep your hands to yourself. I mean, I know you're touchy, but we're not there yet. So Courtney's like, I didn't touch you. And then Kenya's like,
did 3 times, and I'm just saying I would like you to not do that. That's all.
Drew's like, she's letting you know her boundaries, which is that she's famous and you're not famous and you touched her skin.
Yeah. She's not paid well enough to be touched by the likes of you, ma'am.
So Candy's like, okay, it's been about 43 minutes and we're at 44 as I'm contractually obligated, and goodbye, everyone. I'm going
Candy
off.
just takes her napkin and puts it through the punch machine. It's like, boom, I'm out.
She literally slides down the back of a dinosaur.
She's like, fucking out of here.
She's like, yabba dabba doo. So Todd's still out there just like talking. He's like, yeah, well, anyway, ponds are cool. I like them more than lakes. And Candy's like out there. She's like, come on, we're going. She's like, she keeps giving him the face. Like, get the hell out of here, Todd. Hurry up.
So then everybody's packing, and we see Sheree call Sonia, and Drew is talking to somebody, talking about the cuisine in Portugal. Who's she talking to?
She's talking to Allison. She goes, hey, what's the cuisine like in Portugal? And Allison goes, Mediterranean. So like butter, rich food. I was like, Allison doesn't know. Allison's just like, I'm just going to spitball this because my sister's too dumb to do it herself.
And Drew's like, I got to keep my figure. Do I look like a can of biscuits now? It's like, okay, you need to learn to let things go. That was seasons ago. Okay, we need to have new things. So now they're at the airport, and then we see arrivals and stuff, and there's drama. Candy's not feeling well. She has food poisoning, and then we just cut to 3 hours later, landing in Lisbon,
or 8 hours later. Poor Candy. Like, this is why you don't. Yeah,
I actually thought, wow, 3 hours? Why aren't we all in Portugal all the time? Why don't you ever hear people like, I went to Portugal for the weekend?
Oh my God, I would love that. Can we do a show in Portugal? Can we do a show? Because we did.
I want to do it at the Butter Mediterranean restaurant.
So, for people who have not been listening to Dwell Hello on Wondry Plus, we did a recap of House Hunters International a few weeks ago that took place in the Algarve of Portugal, which is where they go. And I tell you, that after that House Hunters episode, I kind of have like the Algarve in my eyeballs. And then they went there today, and I'm like, I think it's a sign. I think it's a sign that we have to somehow go to the Algarve.
Let's do it. I need somewhere to move to. I'm getting bored.
I'm in. I'm going to Portugal.
We're going to Portugal. We're going to the Algarve. We're going to the Olive Garden.
So, what do they
So
call it since I got there? Portugal.
Slutchical doesn't work as well.
Portia Slutface. No.
Portia Williams a goal.
So then we go to the van, and then we get to hear.
I was going to say something, by the way, before I actually pontificate about the Algarve. I was going to say, this is why you can't miss too much shit. Because if you miss too much shit as a cast member, then like you go through all your missing shit capital. And then when you actually really do have to miss something, because you are like literally shitting and vomiting, they're like, sorry, you have to get on the plane. Because this is the moment where
sick days. Correct.
This is the moment where you have to say, I have to get the next flight. I can't, because honestly, I could not imagine more of a nightmare than having like food poisoning on an 8-hour flight.
Oh, horrible. So then they all just talk about how Candy was just shitting for 3 hours straight the whole trip there, and how disgusting it is. And the producers just keep asking everybody about it. That's so, leave the woman alone. Can the woman poop?
Could you imagine you're a celebrity? I've told this on the podcast before, but I remember once seeing Ruth Buzzy, an interview with Ruth Buzzy, and she said, ugh, do you know how many airline bathrooms I have cleaned up? Because I don't want to go into an airline bathroom. And then I come out and people say, would you believe the state that Ruth Buzzy left the bathroom? Could you believe how messy Ruth Buzzy is? And that's like, when you're a celebrity on a plane, you probably are thinking that, and you're going in there and Candy is like, oh my God, I'm a celebrity and everyone's watching me go into this bathroom to shit my ass off for the 6th time on this flight.
So Sheree's like, well, you look better. And I listen, I just wanted us all to come to Algarve to get a moment to take in the country and to enjoy each other. And I know some relationships have been rocky. Sonya's like, right? Because Marlo dated that guy that Kenya's dating with the... You guys heard about that, right? Anybody?
I'm surprised that business is not called Kale Me Marlo, based on their romantic past. Am I right?
Oh, so she's like, guys, I don't want drama. I only want good vibes. And so Kenya turns around and looks out the window, and they're like, Kenya, why are you doing that? And so then we see Kenya being like, why can't I look out the window? Jeez. And she's like, these are all grown-ass women who don't know how to act. Now, I could have chosen anywhere, but Algarve has a garden. And that garden has free breadsticks.
Is it possible that Sheree thought she was taking everyone to dinner at the Olive Garden? She's like, don't worry, everyone, dinner's on me.
Well, I'm thinking. She's like, family style night. Listen, no one can fight over all you can eat pasta for $5.
So then they need healing. So then they arrive at the W Hotel of the Algarve. And it's like really beautiful. They really got a great vacation out of this. And Candy is talking about like how she had like the worst bubble gut on the plane. She's never been so sick, and she was barfing and doing all the things, and it was terrible. And poor Candy, just let her go up to her room and let her go to sleep. And instead they have to like, do you want to have champagne? Do you want to have a ginger drink? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I'm like, let Candy go to her bed.
And Marlo's like,
wow, good job, Candy. Amazing hotel. The decor is fabulous. I mean, Sheree's Portuguese place compared to Kenya's broke down Motel 6. Sheree knows how to treat the girls.
Which I have to say, you're right.
Yes.
But Sheree got to bring you to Portugal, and Kenya got to bring you to fucking Alabama. Okay?
Yeah.
That
clearly
was like...
the vacation budget was mostly put in the second trip of the season, as opposed to Birmingham. Also, the other thing I was going to say was bravo to this. You know, this season has taken a lot of shit from us and from lots of people, lots of viewers, lots of media outlets. But one thing that they've gotten right is that they kept the, hey, just got to the hotel. Let's talk to our people at home on FaceTime. They made that snappy. That was a 5-second montage this time. So thank you. Thank you, producers, for realizing that none of us care about the FaceTime to home on a trip.
Well, I don't think they really had much of a choice. Todd's the only one who will answer his phone. Ralph's probably in Tampa already.
Tampa, Vegas.
Sonya's guy is in Austin working. Like no one really has anybody. It's just Todd like, hi, what do you want me to tell the au pair? Okay, I'll tell her. Bye. Good talking.
So they're all sitting together at a table, and Drew says that Ralph is in Vegas on a work trip, and everyone's like, Ralph is in Vegas, Drew? And she says, oh, yeah, because, when I was doing my music video that Candy couldn't come to, I guess, so one of the producers on my video, the one that's not Rage, she actually looks over Chocolate City. Like, she's like a producer for Chocolate City, too. It's like the Black Magic Mike. And they're like, so is, like, Ralph going to be performing? and they're and Drew's like, no, like she wants Ralph to audition. And Kenya goes, she wants Ralph to audition? She's like, what?
And Drew's like, whenever I go out of town, of course, there's something subconsciously wondering what he's doing. And by subconsciously, I mean, I literally say, what do you guys think he's doing? I mean, we wonder what he's doing. And now he's in Vegas. So it's great. It's going to work out great for me. I feel it coming. So Moneta's like, yeah, that's where I went. I went to that show for my bachelorette party. I mean, that's full on. Like they put the dick on the table. It's like, boom.
And everyone's like, so wait, and so okay, so this is a show that people pay money for to see men so that way they get turned on and they're going to throw dollar bills at them, and they want Ralph for that? They want Ralph to be the person that's going to do that. Just want to clarify.
Everybody's shocked. Candy's like, Ralph is taking it off for our ones? I don't know. So Marlo's like, I think Heath has a better chance. In the Black Magic Mike show.
Heath is like, thank you so much. Prayer hands, thank you so much. So Sonya's like, all right, let's go. Like, let's go hit these streets and see who gets recognized first. Ha ha, let's see who's really worldwide. I was like, oh, that's a gross moment for you right there. Not that you dissed Candy, but that you literally are like, guys, I know we're sitting here talking, but there's a chance that someone could recognize us. So let's get to the streets.
So they go to their rooms. Kenya, the rooms are really nice. This is a really great hotel. So Sonia and Drew are talking, and Sonia goes, so what's south of this? And then
I can't. Oh my God. I can't. They're looking at the water.
She goes, what's south of this? Africa? And Drew goes, yeah, have you ever been to Africa? I've never been. No, I've been to South Africa, but not Africa. Did I write it wrong?
Stop. No, you wrote it correctly, but we have to pause first. So Moneta goes to Drew, looking out at the ocean. Hey, you know what's south of this? And Drew goes, Spain? No, like literally. Okay. There's Spain no world in which Spain is south of Portugal. It's east and north of it. And also, looking at the ocean, there's no ocean between Portugal and Spain, Drew. So you're like, oh my God, Drew is an idiot. And then when Drew says, I've never been to Africa. I've been to South Africa, but I've never been to Africa. It's like, oh God. Please just never have her talk about geography again.
Well, to be honest, the only reason I knew it was east was because they put the map up last week. And the only reason I knew there wasn't an ocean there was because I saw the map last week. Like, I'm not the brightest bulb either, okay? So I will forgive some things. But when she said, I've never been to Africa, only South Africa, oh, come on. I'm trying. I'm trying over here. Come on.
So Moneta's like, oh, okay, you poor idiot. Well, guess what? I have an orphanage in Swaziland, so I've been there before. And Drew's like, you have a village? And he was like, okay. Of course, this person's a real idiot, huh? I never really quite noticed. Yeah, an orphanage. An orphanage is, I know you've heard the term, it takes a village, but an orphanage is not an actual village.
So then we go to Marlo, and Marlo, it's with Sonia. Sorry, I got that wrong earlier. So Marlo's with Sonia, and they're doing a cheers and to being really open. And then we go see what Candy's doing. She's talking to Kenya, and Candy's like, that's the first time there hasn't been a lot of negativity, and that's good. And then we go to Drew, and Drew's like, well, everyone's trying to get along and mend things, but then Sheree brought up my whole lawsuit and blogs, and I said, come on now. Like, she's trying to joke, like, is this chef going to get paid? Pay your fucking chef, okay?
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for you.
Drew's like, I'm just trying to stay neutral in all of it, just sort of like Swaziland. That's Switzerland, not Swaziland.
I'm just trying to adopt Patience, like, Patience is part of that orphanage in the village that Manietta owns.
In Switzerland?
So she's like, honey, I said, come on, you have multiple people not getting paid. We're talking about one person in my case. So I would appreciate a call if you're concerned, because I only have one person accusing. That is still too many. You don't get to say like she's not paying more people than I'm paying.
You don't get to have a mulligan when it comes to not paying people. Like, oh, I had one person, I just didn't pay.
So Kenya and Candy, back to them talking. Kenya's like, well, my divorce is coming up soon. My divorce court's coming up, and Candy's like, oh my God, this is a 3-year divorce.
She's like, I'm so sick and tired of your 3-year divorce. Kenya's like, I know, I've been divorcing longer than I've been married at this point. I'm just excited to date someone, finally, a kale person. And Candy is like, well, were you weirded out when Marla said that Roy dated her? And she's like, no, Roy totally told me. I'm like, I guarantee Roy did not. Roy totally did not tell Kenya.
You don't think so?
No, I think she's just saying it here to be like, oh, I knew. I was prepared. You can't bother me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it looks like I'm a hypocrite, but I know I'm being a hypocrite. So it's totally different than when I was doing it to Sheree.
She goes, Roy is like fine, handsome and young and eligible, and he doesn't have to pay for pussy. So it wasn't a date. Sorry.
Eesh. So then Sonia and Marlo, Sonia's like, so how come Kale was in your DMs and it's not a big deal, but then Martell was in her DMs, it was a big deal. It's like a whole situation. And we see the clips of Martell, screaming and yelling, getting all pissed. And then Marlo's like,
Look, I didn't think going on a date with Roy was that big of a deal. I mean, if Kenny can't deal with it, that's her problem. So I went on a date with the guy, and it just, I don't know, he's kind of corny for me. And Kaylee, frankly. A very Kale forward person. I'm just not into it.
God, I wish scallion were a type of descriptor for someone. Making a delicious salad out of this story. But it's great for Kenya. But by the way, there's a reason why there's a difference between Roy getting into Marlo's DMs versus Martell. It's because Martell, we don't know really much about Roy, but we do know about Martell is that he is like a reality show slut. He cheated on his wife, then cheated on his mistress. He had a baby. It's like all these stories, like red flags all over the place. So when he gets into the DMs of like someone into Kenya's DMs, there is a reason for like a red flag. Roy, we don't know enough about. Like maybe potentially it's a red flag, but it's different. It's a totally different situation.
Well, I think that in the situation of Martell, he was a reality star, and he was writing Kenya to say thanks for what you said about me. I don't know if he was being sarcastic, like thanks for dissing me, or if she was really standing up for him. But he was referring to something she actually said about him in an interview. So I think that makes more sense to reach out to her and say something than it makes for this rando to first try and date one Real Housewife, and then that didn't work, so he moves right on to the next Real Housewife. I mean, I think that's more of a red flag. Also, Roy doesn't even try. At least Martell tries. He comes and he makes some drama. He does something. Roy just comes and like
delivers
gives everybody dirty looks and delivers a fucking kale shake. Get the fuck out of here.
So Marlo is like, what did she say when she came back? That was so mean what she said. And Sonia's like, oh yeah, she said like, I'm glad he knows like not what to like. And Marlo's like, baby, listen, I've been around her for 10 years and she's seen one man, if that. Like, we've seen hundreds from her, and everyone knows, like, what not to like with her because nothing lasts for long. And then we do see, like, all the men that Kenya has dated, all the terrible relationships Kenya has been in, real or otherwise, over the past 10 years.
Yeah. I love that they include Walter in that. It's so funny. Like,
know.
no
There
one's
was one
ever
guy-
going to let her forget that.
And there was one guy I just totally did not remember. He was in the lower left-hand corner. Do you remember who that? I got everyone except for the guy in the lower left-hand corner.
No, I saw
remember him.
Walter, Matt, her current guy, Mark. Who was the other guy? Let me think. I don't remember. I don't care enough.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Okay, so then nighttime, they get in the Sprinter van and they're going to go to a restaurant and they're like, does this have authentic Portuguese food? And they're like, what is authentic Portuguese food? And Marla says, oh,
Lots of sardines. Y'all, I had sardines growing up and little Vienna sausages and crackers because I grew up less fortunate. And my grandma would put hot sauce on a cracker and we'd go fishing with her and then we'd eat the sardines for lunch. And it's something I've never outgrown.
I was like, you're very humble. Glad you're going in your fucking Gautier.
Well, the funny thing,
Your Gautier that Ted Turner bought you. Very,
you've come a long way since sardines. Now, I will say what's actually kind of funny is that her saying like, oh, I had a humble childhood of having sardines on crackers with hot sauce. Meanwhile, that's like the trendiest hipster food right now. And I know that because I just bought a second
growing up in the day
tin
where we
fish.
would have to go pick up an avocado and spread it across toast.
I know, because I literally just bought a second tinned fish cookbook, so like I'm not acting like I'm above it, but it's just so funny because like now that's like a thing. Like, hi, come to this restaurant and spend $25 on sardines and a cracker.
It really is. And I've just started reading that Allison Roman. I love her. I started watching her on YouTube. You told me about her.
She loves those anchovies.
And everything.
Everything.
They're literally in everything. She's like,
And you know
and
what?
then put an entire container of anchovies. I'm like, what? Who eats
And it's so
this?
good. It's so good though. Like
It's too much.
No,
I'm
no.
gonna try one that I think could have maybe been okay if it wasn't 8 anchovies in it. It's
Which
too
one?
much.
Which one are you going to try? Do you remember?
It's this tomato. It's this skizzled.
shallot?
What does she call them? Skizzled shallots or some shizzled or whatever.
Is it the frizzled chickpeas?
Frizzled. No. But it's still frizzled shallots with tomato. So it's basically tomato sauce, like you do.
Yeah, it's a
Shallots.
shallot
You
pasta.
fry shallots, and then you add a tin of tomato
Yeah, a tomato paste.
compact. Paste.
Yeah, that's like her. That's one of her viral recipes. Her
Yes. She's like,
it's
guys,
delicious.
this is like making me cry because I like change the world with this recipe, guys. To like change lives with it.
I've seen that
like
video.
that is nuts. Like I changed people with this recipe. I was like, okay, I don't need to like eat your narcissism. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what I was tasting. But you put
It's so
the
good.
tomato paste and then you add a whole jar. You add water, of course, and then like a whole jar of anchovy. I'm sorry that just didn't work out for me. I'm gonna try it
you
again
gotta-
though.
you made it and it didn't work out.
It was disgusting. It was too much fish. It was too. I was like, ugh. And I like anchovies. I mean, I make some real Caesar dressing. I'm not afraid of an anchovy. I think it's just she calls for too much of things. Like she called for too much. She calls for too much dill. I like dill as well. I think dill's good, but she
Never too
literally
much.
put so much dill. It ruins things. She
Okay,
overdoes
Jenna
it.
Lyons. I love the dill. I love actually overdoing it with dill. I love it. Never too much.
Oh my
Never
God,
too
maybe
much.
you're-
Never too much dill.
And maybe you're going to be best friends with Allison Roman now. Someone send her this.
She would never. So,
Ben stood up for your dill and your anchovies,
Guys.
Allison.
I stood up for your proportions of dill and anchovies. I don't say it, but I do. I do. I think she has perfect proportions of dill and anchovies. I add dill to everything.
I like
really
dill
do. And
too.
I
I
add
just-
tons of it.
I've just learned to not add as much as she's saying. Is what I'm saying. Like she'll
Oh,
roll
I-
around it.
yeah.
It's too much.
I will roll
gluttonous. It's dill gluttony.
You like a measured dill moment, but
I guess.
I'm like I just pour it in. I throw dill in everything now. It's crazy. I'm a crazy dill person now.
Okay, so they go to the
anyway.
restaurant, and so they get a guy who is like me in Mexico, where I'm like, "Hola, cómo estás?" And people are like, "Oh, he speaks Spanish perfectly." And then they proceed to talk to me, but all I really know how to say is "Hola, cómo estás?" in a good accent. And that's what this guy's doing. He's taking their order and nodding and saying, okay, what would we like? Huh?
I know.
Tequila?
It was so clear he was did not know what was going. He could not understand them because Kenya's like, let's get a shot of tequila first. Tequila. He's like, okay, tequila. And then they're like, what tequila do you recommend? I'm like, first of all, by the way, at this point, just say what tequila. It's that way. There's too much of a language barrier to do this. So he clearly was like, tequila. Like, but which one do you recommend? He goes, tequila. Do you want? So is there a type that you like more than others? He goes, tequila. I'm like, you guys are not getting your shots.
Tequila, right? And they're like, yeah. So then they order, and you could just see he has no idea what they're saying. He's like, I'm just going to bring them whatever the fuck. So Kenya, they start making weird small talk. Kenya's like, who can blink one eye individually? And then the other eye. It's like, you guys, come on. It's like life support. Life support.
So then the tequila shots come, except they're not shots. They're just full on like pint glass cocktails. And Marlo's, guys, be careful. There's going to be a lot of sugar in this.
Candy's already shit up one bathroom.
So Sheree is like, okay, now let's have a healing journey. This trip is putting everyone at the table. So anything you have an issue with, anything that's been weighing on you, please bring it up today.
Unless
no
it has
one
to do
does.
with me.
Candy's still like blinking one eye. Like, I got this, right? Am I doing it?
Todd's going to make a movie about winking eyes. So Courtney's like, she's like, well, I mean, since
While
we're
you were
not...
winking, he's just going to keep remaking other movies and pretending they're his own idea.
He's going to remake Blink, but it'll be called Wink. And I'll still feature Madeline Stowe. So Courtney's... Great movie. Great thriller. People forgot about it. Everyone's talking about Silence of the Lambs, but guess what? Check out Blink. So Courtney is like, she's like, well, since we're talking about new things, Kenny and Candy, I want to bring it up. Like, I didn't know we had a problem until the other day. I mean, nothing about the fact that you guys are super cold to me for weeks on end made me think that we had a problem.
Oh, God. Like, no one cares, Courtney. No one wants to give you the energy of this. And Kenya literally picks up her knife and just stares at her teeth in it. She's like, I do not want to talk to this person. So Courtney's like,
Sheree, you said you felt like I wasn't allowing you to... Oh, Sheree said you felt like I wasn't allowing you to get to know me, and I was violating your space.
and we do see a clip of Kenya telling Sheree earlier, I just feel like she never opens up when I try to talk to her. And then Sheree running right to Courtney.
Yeah. So Kenya says, well, Courtney, like, just to be transparent, the reason why I asked you to stop touching me is because initially it was funny, but then it became condescending. I'm like, it became condescending because you started being condescending first. And she goes, and then I was like, I don't like this anymore. I don't like it. And Courtney goes, well, I keep on getting mean girl energy from you. And I don't think that's like how you are with the rest of them except for me.
It was at first. Everyone has to earn it with Kenya. She's not just going to naturally be nice to anybody. I think the first person that she tried to pretend to naturally like right off the bat was Kim Field. And that went left in 2 minutes, you know? She's not going to give it to you, Courtney, who's already coming on here calling people she's not. No, no, ma'am. Nor do you deserve it. That said, Kenya was being an awful monster, and you're correct in this.
And Kenya's like, well, I appreciate you, Drew, because you said she's not giving mean girl energy. She's saying that's a boundary. Ha ha. And Drew's like, and by the way, just so you know, Candy's faces are just Candy's faces. Don't take them to heart. Candy's face like,
Yeah, it cuts to Candy just twisting her face. And Kenya goes, yeah, she has a resting bitch face. It's not literal. So then Marlo's like,
anchovies, anyone? I was poor once.
I love Marlo, like her, you know, I just love how she loves the anchovies and the sardines. I don't know why. I just think it's so funny. So Drew is like, Sheree, as long as we're healing, you and I have come from a mighty, mighty long way. And when we had the brunch at my house, you mentioned something from a blog about a lady who has a very big and impactful lawsuit against me. And then I found out that you were talking about it behind my back and you brought it up when I wasn't present.
And Drew's like, yeah, and we're family. So of course Courtney's going to tell Ralph what's going on. And I really want to build with Sheree. And I just feel like there should be a level of sense. You went on a radio show and said that she confiscated everything and called her like Candy, I guess, said Sheehan by Sheree, not Drew. But you still went on some talk show and dissed her. Like, why are you pretending that you're so sensitive with Sheree? Give me a break, lady.
Yeah, so Sheree's like, well, you let me down too. Okay? Like, keep going. I love this. Keep doing this. And Drew goes, you know what? A lawsuit is very, very serious. So don't talk about my business behind my back. Because if we're friends, Sheree goes, well, we're becoming friends. Okay? Let's be clear. We're becoming friends.
And she's like, but if we're real friends, she goes, okay, well, you started with a lie. 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 Because, Sheree's really good at that. She does the Kenya fighting when she gets upset.
Yeah, repetition.
Repeat. And so Drew starts going, oh, what are we in class now? What are we doing? Oh, are we being classy right now? Are we being classy?
I mean, who was there with me when I went on Dish Nation and talked about She by Sheree being confiscated after reunion? And you said we were cool. Who was there with me when I was on Dish Nation?
Did you not lie on me? Did you not lie on me? Did you not lie on me?
I just also want to remind people I was on Dish Nation.
Did you not lie on me?
Which admittedly I thought was QVC about servingware,
you
but
lied.
that's fine.
Liar.
Okay, I did not lie. I did not lie about that. I'm being sued. Okay,
you're lying right now.
I'm in the Supreme Court right now. Okay, like it's very hard in this climate.
So Drew's like, yeah, so who was with me? Like that was fine, right? And then we see a clip of them working it out with Kenya at the salon where they talk through it and supposedly it's all fine now. And so Sheree's like, no, we're not cool now. And Drew's like, okay, well then let's talk about stuff that's happening right now. And Sheree goes, it is happening right now. It is happening right now. Lies.
Well, I think Sheree, you just need to own it, okay? Sheree needs to own these things that she says, okay? Does she own anything? Does she own anything, actually? So Candy's like, well, my She by Sheree stuff was taken back. And Sheree's like, well, whoever took it back has nothing to do with me. Just because they looked like me with a mustache on and thick glasses does not mean it was me. It was just someone who looked a lot like me.
Candy's like, we were told we were only allowed to keep hats. Who told you that? A lady named Sheree. What does she look like? Slightly different face, but mostly you. I'm pretty sure it was you.
With a big detective hat and Groucho Marx glasses and mustache. But she said she wasn't you, though.
Then we cut to Marlo in her confessional going, I got 4 or 5 pieces, a shirt, a hat. She's in her who can you check me, boo shirt and her, She by Sheree hat.
Because she clearly hit hers in a bag. Like, I don't have any She by Sheree. No, not for me.
Or Sheree said, show that you have She by, if you're really on my team, show that you have She by Sheree. Here's all the stuff,
So Drew's like, but we already talked about that. The confiscation conversation already happened. We're moving forward. By the way, that's my new single, confiscation conversation. What I'm talking about is something
sounds like an after-school special. Confiscation conversation.
It's just like a little Bill walking up the stairs. It's like, let me tell you about repossession. Confiscation, conversation.
Let me tell you about the small claims court. Confiscation, conversation.
It's a big song about small claims.
So she's like, this is serious, Sheree. And Sheree's like, oh, yeah, it doesn't feel good, does it? And she's like, so you're just trying to tit for tat? And so Sheree's like, just girl, bye. So Sheree can't even follow her own, let's keep it peaceful and say sorry to each other. So Marlo's just dinging her glass going,
sound bath, ding, sound bath, and sardines. Can I bring sardines to sound bath when I don't mind? And it's the only kind of bath we could afford when I was young. I was poor. I bathed myself with sound. And white rain occasionally.
So Drew's like, how are you going to do a trip about healing when you can't heal your damn self? And Sheree goes, well, I actually brought it to you. And Drew goes, you're incapable. You're incapable. And Sheree's like, okay, and you're a liar. And Kenny goes, guys, what I see is a big sis, little sis argument here. Oh, which by the way, we didn't talk about the fact that, because the big sis, little sis thing reminded me of Candace and Giselle, which by the way, did anyone see? I'm saying, did anyone? It's you here. Did anyone here on this podcast see that big brawl that happened on Potomac?
Of course. So you have to see it if you follow Bravo. It's everywhere. It's on every freaking feed. And it's great. We're going to get another fucking season of having to go shot by shot through a fucking fight video on this show. I refuse to do it. And this is Friends of, like, I don't even care.
I know, but I felt like I need to be acknowledged in some way in the podcast.
I know that we're going to have to care because it's the whole season. They're going to show it right in the first episode and be like later this season, or they're going to show it at the beginning and then say earlier this season, 10 weeks ago. And then we have to wait until the season finale to see who was wrong. TMZ already did the slowed down video and everything. Did you watch that?
I watched some of it.
It's Deborah the Muppet.
Deborah, yeah.
And she's going with another newbie, and their fight. It looks like the newbie does hit her first or pushes her first, and you see what you're doing to me? Like, here we go. So then Deborah comes in, they start all out brawling, but then I don't know if someone threw a drink at Candace, but Candace picks up a bottle. I
saw that, but I was actually, believe it or not, I interpreted that artistic choice as she was getting the bottle out of the way, not so much.
Oh, maybe she was. I could see that's the thing. This is going to be the whole season, and I'm already pissed about it.
Everyone get ready.
Because I've watched that video maybe 10 times at least, and I have to read all the tweets and the comments and everything to understand what's happening because it's so fast and it's far away and it's fuzzy.
And then everyone falls down at the end. It's a big one, and but I felt like I needed to acknowledge it on one of these episodes. I forgot to mention it on New York, so it's mentioned here because we said big sis, little sis. So anyway, back to Atlanta. So Kenya says, there's like a big sis and little sis, and Marlo's like, what? No, Drew and Sheree are sisters. Their relationship is more like Britney Spears and Jamie Lynn, not Venus and Serena. Sound bath. Sound bath. Sardines.
So Drew's like, but I'm being vulnerable and I'm bringing my feelings and you don't acknowledge my feelings. And Sheree's like, don't tell me what I need to acknowledge. I would like you to acknowledge lies, 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 lies. And she's like, but you're deflecting. And they just keep repeating themselves over and over. And Sheree's like, but you are saying that it happened, right? And Kenya's like, oh my God, what do you need to forgive her? What do you need?
Yeah.
And Sheree's like, can I have some French fries?
We'll start with French fries. Kenya's like, okay, I need you to do better as a host, Sheree. And Sheree's like, well, I'm a work in progress. What can I say? Does that whole thing. So Drew, believe it or not, I do feel like Drew actually was, like Sheree was being the asshole in this situation. So Drew leaves. She's going to cry. She's like, sorry, I'm practicing my work for The Pass by Todd Tucker. I'm going to go cry now. So she leaves and she cries. And Marlo's like, she's crying. Come on, go take care of your guest. Her feelings are hurt. And Sheree's like, but my feelings are hurt too, Marlo. I'm hurt. So then they go after Drew, and Drew's just like crying outside the restaurant. And for some reason, this was big enough to be a to be continued.
Yeah, we got a TBC from it. So there we go. All you need is a Y at the end, and it would have been delicious.
Oh, truly.
TBCY.
Thanks for making
that
me
doesn't
hungry,
quite
Molly.
work out. Just don't think about it too hard.
This country's best. Hey, it's a nice callback to the yogurt pun from earlier.
Yeah. How's that for culture?
Yeah. Dun dun. With Law and Order at the end.
All right. We're out of here. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being with us on video on demand. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us regular YouTube. Hi, thanks for having us in your ear. I just realized this peach picture behind me looks like there's another bald person with my coloring standing right behind me, kind of looking over my head, like waiting in line to be on the podcast.
Well, I really appreciate your dedication to piles of fruit behind you this week on Crap is on Demand, because you had literally the same picture with apples. Yeah.
I look like I'm wearing a hat made out of a smaller version of my own head.
No, you don't. There's Peaches and there's Ronnie. There's a clear difference.
Love you,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie, she's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.